Okay, so now we're going to work on the syncopated strumming thing. And ideally, syncopation is really going to be an emphasis of the upbeat. Okay, right now we're really just adding eighth notes to our strum pattern to go along with eventually what we're going to do on harmonica. But for right now, part one is doing 4 times with each chord, the E chord, the A chord, and the B7 on this strum pattern up top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do this all day long. I know you can. It's just a matter of just kind of drilling it into your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That's 2 measures. Okay? So you would do that 4 times on the E chord, and then switch and try and do it on the A chord 4 times, and switch to do the B7 chord 4 times, just to get the hang of it. The second part is adding it to 12-bar blues, and this is where it gets a little tricky because I want you to do a good job of switching chords, which you've been working on, but also working on this strum pattern, making sure that down-up falls in the 4th beat of the measure, and then you're going into the quarter notes. You shouldn't have to do, the part that's going to be crazy, or the hard part I should say, is going to be the B7 to the A on the 3rd line of the 12-bar blues, because you will be switching. You'll be playing a down up at the end of the B7 and then switching to the A. Okay, so if I isolate that for a second, that 3rd line is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3, 4. That part may be a little harder. I don't think you'll have any trouble with the last measure, the E to the B7, because that's just going to be quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go back to the E chord in the beginning. So, I'll play it through so you can practice with this. I'll try and take it pretty slow. 1, 2, 3, go. Start over again. Okay, actually that may have been a little fast for your chord switching, so what I'm going to do is maybe do it 2 or 3 times in a row right now, a little slower, so you can get the hang of it and play along with me. Okay, so here you are, a little bit slower, 3 times through the 12-bar blues. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back again. Here comes A. B7. One big E for the finish. I didn't do a good job of calling out every single chord, so don't depend on me for that. What was intended to be helpful may end up being harder on you if you're waiting on me to tell you when to switch chords. I think you already know that intuitively by now, but just in case. Okay, so that's part 2, and you would just review that over and over and over again, get used to playing with the strum pattern and switching chords quickly. The third part is going to be adding the harmonica part. So, and it's totally cool if this does not happen for a little while, but yeah, we'll add this. I'm going to address the swing thing real quick. I said over the lesson that when you're doing this, you're going to eventually get to doing a swing by accident, I think, which is true, but I don't want you to think too much about it. I want you to focus on playing this with that straight rhythm right now, and go with that for a while. So here, we're working on that 3, 2, blow 2, and we're going to try and add that to the strum. So we've got... And I want you to do that over top of the chords for a little bit. So over top of the E chord maybe, I want you to just strum along with it. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you can't see my right hand, I don't think. Let me get it in here a little better. There you go. And so you would do that over, just like you did in the beginning, that part 3, you'd go back to number 1 and just play this little phrase over the E chord over and over again and get the hang of it. Then do it with the A chord, and then with the B7, and then eventually play it over the 12-bar blues, okay? So you're going for something like this. Two, 3, 4. Okay, that's the goal. Yeah, I mean, you can insert rests wherever you want because it is heavy on the draw in that whole section there, but just have fun with it. It feels funny to play so rigidly, but I think it's better practice right now, and then we'll eventually get to where we're using the swing. Okay, I hope that's something cool for you to play with for a little while. Just remember, we're trying to lock in what your harmonica is playing rhythmically with what your right hand is playing on the guitar rhythmically. Alright, I'll see you next week.